Hi everybody, I'm Brigitte Gerlach, the
Right.
spelling. Hi,
Hey.
how are you?
G'day, friends and fans. I'm the author, David Applegate, author of the book, The Boyhood of Cade, Book 1 of The Empire of Elves, and welcome to Future Fantasy Empire. Before I begin, I remind you that this channel is sponsored by people like you, the viewing audience. After the show, please check out the links in the description, more details after the show. Now, Twitter viewers, those links are in my tweets. I'm sorry, uh, Twitter and their changes. They don't have the description anymore. It's really weird. And today with me is Brigitte Gerlach, author of the book Pteridophyta 1 and 2. And Pteridophyta 1 is out. Link is in the description. Pteridophyta 2 is coming soon. I will update the links once it's available. And Brigitte, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Germany, sitting here over middle of the night, greeting everybody, and I started to write, and during lockdown, actually, I had no books to read anymore, so I started to write my own. I've been doing role game playing and things like that before, and storytelling, but I never wrote it down. And having no books, I simply took out the keyboard and started to write. That's about
That's
it.
yeah. And how long ago did you realize you wanted to be a writer? I mean, when did you run out of books?
When I ran out of books, that's the point.
When did you
Before I
run
moved
out?
to
Yeah.
role-playing gaming, and we couldn't anymore during lockdown, and I had no new books to read because the bookstore, the local one, was closed and everything. So I simply, started to tell myself my own stories.
Yes, I started in 2016. Yes, though I've had stories my whole life, but yeah, I actually did start writing in 2014, but 2016 I put the finishing touches to my book and put it out. So a
Wow,
lot of
that's
people
a
did.
time.
A lot of people did. A lot of people had published in 2016. Um, please tell us more about your books.
Well, it's the series I'm publishing now. That's about a witch, Pteridophyta, and her friends who are missing children. Their village got attacked by a ship coming in and half burned down them, and everything was when the invaders were gone. Half the children are missing, and some of the villagers wanted to appeal to the king, but Theo and her friends said it has no chance. The king will never listen to us. He's not interested in some out of the way village, and they started going over with a fishing boat to after the big ship to save the children. And now they're on a very far quest. The ship evaded them and they're following them from harbor to harbor and having adventures on the way. It's a quest book.
Now, when you write, what did you do to prepare for your book?
I had a dream and a recurring nightmare because then my godchild was missing one day when we were playing out in the yard, and we had a half an hour of panic until we found the kids back again. That's what probably the idea behind it.
And did you have to do any research for your books?
No, that's a good thing about fantasy. You can take it all out of your head.
That
All the
is true.
landscape and the people and the towns and everything comes out of your imagination.
Yeah. Fantasy is
It's
one of the
fun.
broadest. Yes, and fantasy is one of the most broadest, and most books are fantasy, but and actually, science fiction was a breakout genre. It used to be actually listed under fantasy. A lot of things used to be under fantasy, including horror, and it's another
Yes,
breakout genre. Um,
yes, but most people don't invest as much ideas into it. The
no,
world building is
unfortunately, these days, 80% of books sold are romance, not fantasy. It used to be the other way around. Romance, actually, I think up until about the 60s, romance wasn't exactly popular, although fantasy
no,
is fantasy comes in waves.
that's true. That's really
Uh,
true.
you if you get real if there's enough buzz about an author and it's a fantasy book, people go read it because people are starved for new content.
No,
They
but
really are.
I think a lot of it came up with Harry Potter, and then there was a break again, and now I hope we get on the next wave. Maybe one of our books.
Yes, I'm actually pretty sad that they hyped Harry Potter. They said how much Harry Potter got people reading. 5 minutes after they bought the Harry Potter book, they put it down, watched the movie, and never picked up another fantasy book again. I mean,
That's sad, yes.
it is sad how many people bought the books and then bought no other books. It's pretty sad
Yes,
how few books people read.
I think all people should read. It's a help to the imagination.
Yes.
When you just watch a movie, it's just consuming. When you read, you imagine your own world.
Yes. When you read, you're also exercising your mind, whereas when you're watching a movie, you're putting yourself to sleep.
Yes, that's essentially it.
Now, do you have a favorite book or a favorite writer?
Oh, lots of. From Dorothy Sayers and Terry Pratchett and Trudy Kahneman to a lot of people, in fact.
Yeah.
I read a lot of things that I simply pick up at a bookstore, or my brother picked up at a bookstore in Bavaria, and then we exchange merrily. So it's simply fun to read different things, but mostly fantasy or mystery I read. Novel novels I like too, and that's about it. I picked up the Elon Musk biography lately. I thought I should read something more serious, but I'm still at the Trudy Kahneman at the moment.
C.S. Lewis does get to be a bit of a slog now and again, but it's well worth the read. It's well worth the read. Don't want to spoil it for people, but you got to prepare yourself for the ending when you read the final book. You got to prepare for it. I mean, a lot of people, I think, know how it's going to end, but yeah.
No, I didn't at the start know how it would end. I just a larger part of the books. I have up to 6 books in the series. I experienced the adventures besides my characters. That
Yes.
some have a life of their own and change the book. That's really strange to explain to people who don't mind, but it's really
Yeah,
like
if you're going to read,
characters
yeah,
develop.
if you're going to read The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, please read the series. Just don't read the one book.
That I
That's what I
hope
say to
people
people.
do.
Yeah,
I really
I
hope
have
people
people.
do.
Now, a lot of people draw inspiration from various writers. Where do you draw inspiration? Is it just pure imagination, or
Mostly I daydream, or I have some, I really have some bird dreams at night. When I stand up, I simply grab a coffee, mostly a cold coffee from the last day, and sit in front of my keyboard. And then I write. The feeling of a dream, it's more the feeling of a thing that's going into it. Do a lot of emotional stuff, more or less. That's really hard to explain.
No, I get it. I'm a over describer. Some people are over empathetic. You know, some people are very dry, slow, and simplistic. Harry Potter, and it's a different. You know, each author is a different experience, and that's why I think if you write if you're really into diversity, you got to have if you really want a diversity of thought, you have to have a diversity of reading.
That's true. It's I think when I talk to authors on Twitter, everyone is really different. Some people
Yeah,
make a long outline and then fill it in piece by piece, but That's really hard way to work. That is really sounding like work. When I do writing, it's mostly like fun.
Yeah,
The work starts when I get over it and have to check whether I use the same names from scene to scene and have to fill in all the little pieces in between. That's the hard work that comes in, and it comes later on. The
yeah.
first part is fun.
The first part's fun. Yep. But then comes the work. Now, what advice would you give to a new writer?
Don't fall for the vanity press. That's
Absolutely.
that's a problem I had with the first book. They've been defrauding me out of royalties, and well, I'm self-publishing the second now. I'm fighting with that at the moment. That's
Yeah.
not as good as it sounds with all the cover and everything, but
And
it comes soon. Next week it's ready. I promise.
right.
The other thing is stick to it. That might sound when you sit in front of the blank page or the empty side on the keyboard that you can't do it, but just start to write the first sentence. The first sentence and describe the first character and what the character sees, and start from there. You can do it.
Yeah. The process does seem to stress some people out. I mean, a lot of authors only produce one book. Others can pump them out with ease. Everybody talks about writer's block. And of course, writer's block is
Yes.
obviously actually a symptom of stress. How do you deal with stress?
Oh, I Twitter. I've not been writing the last week. I've been twittering more or less. I hang out on Twitter and chat with my friends. And I bake a lot, I look after my plants and feed the cat and visit my friends about here and do everything to procrastinate work. I even clean the dishes to procrastinate work.
Ah, yes. The good old writer's meme. What do you really do? I walk past the keyboard and go straight for the coffee.
Yep.
Some people are prancers, some people are plotters, but a lot of people are procrastinators.
That's true. I'm hanging at the scene at the sixth book at the moment. That I had to write in a key scene from one area of the geography to the other. They just can't make 100 miles in a blink of the eye. And I have to write a scene in between, and I'm struggling with that. And I sit there and add more characters in between and get some coffee. I sit there and write the next two sentences and get some coffee. And a Fortina or something. Yep. Skull.
Are you a writer? Let's see your Google history. How to dispose of a body, different exotic blends of coffee, express
Me,
delivery for coffee, what goes with coffee, how to spell common words. Yep, you're writing. You're looking up how to spell different words. Yep.
Or when I'm really mad, I make caramel for my coffee. Salted caramel to put it in. Then you have to scrub the pot afterwards and everything. You can spend hours with it.
Oh, absolutely. You can spend hours on words. That's why I use ProWritingAid, because like they recommend automatically. This is an overused word, and here's all the other. There's just every word's overused now, like large, huge, big, massive.
That's a good idea. And never got up to that. I sit there and chew on my nails. I leave it till later, and then I have to do all that in a second draft.
I have a discount link in the description for ProWritingAid.
That's a
Now,
good
what
idea.
would you What would you like to do when you're not writing? I mean, obviously, you've got a few things you do to deal with.
Yeah, mainly Twitter or my friends.
Yeah,
But I've
but
got plants, and I like the local cats. We have a gang of 5 cats that keep everybody entertained here, and
mhm.
I garden a bit and run around town. Although nothing special, in fact. I look on Google a lot about plants and coffee, of course.
Coffee, of course.
Coffee, of course. Coffee and
Yeah.
chocolate.
Now, you mentioned Vanity Press. I would also add to that, beware of, and you're going to get hit with all sorts of marketers. Beware of the discount Facebook ads, discount Google ads, even discount Amazon ads. There's a reason why they're discounting those ads, people. They're not working. 90, I think right now, people watching on YouTube will know this. Ad blockers are common nowadays. There's browsers that block ads, but YouTube is telling people to turn off your ad blocker. But of course, ads on X, these social media companies, they're gatekeepers. To reach the audience these days, you have to grind. You have to catch the imagination of a large number of people, and it's not easy. It's called lightning in a bottle for a reason.
Yes,
A
it
lot of
is.
people who are highly successful are only successful because there was no direct competition at the time of the release of their books.
Yes, that's true. That's because that's the one original idea without starting for too.
Yes, a certain author thought that she was all that because of the huge success she had. She was successful for a while, and now she's not. A lot of people, that happens. That
Yeah, no, no,
I
no
think
original idea.
some people are going to have one good idea. Some people are going to have a lot of good ideas.
Stephen King, for
One of
example.
the most prolific writers, Isaac Asimov, published and often self-published over 200 short stories, novels, and a couple of compendium books, including a multiple volume of his life.
Yeah.
And up until his death, he was
Yeah.
also giving interviews. But what he said about writing is right, correct. If you write, you have no life. If you don't write, you have a life.
But that's
A lot of
very
people think writing is
demand.
easy.
Hmm?
A lot of people do think writing is easy. Oh, a movie script. What does it do? It just take you a week? A week? A week? to
Try it,
do the
folks.
synopsis. To do the
Try it,
synopsis.
folks.
Do
I
a
just
28
tried it.
word synopsis. Yeah, it'd take me a week to do a 28 word synopsis. So in 25 words or less, describe, give people a movie and ask them to describe it in 25 words or less, and they'll read the back of the cover, of course. But the average movie script, actually 90,000 words, pretty much a short novel, although 75,000 to 90,000 words. They take just as long as a book to write. In fact, worse,
Yeah.
because they have to cut so much out. They actually have to write more and then cut so much out to fit into.
And every scene you
So
cut out makes your heart bleed.
yeah, and so they have to fit to an exact um model. So and most authors, they write the book, whereas a movie script, believe it or not, has an average of 20 people working on it. You may see written by, directed by, you know, there's
No.
it goes through multiple editors, it goes through multiple rewrites. I mean, a lot of people really don't understand the authors and what they go through to write their books. So hopefully through this process, people actually understand that we're not, movie, because you don't know the movie script is written by and professional editors. I mean, I wish, and a lot of people wish they could have a professional editor go over their book.
Yes, a lot of people do it. A lot of people try. And good luck
A
to
lot
all
of
of them.
people try.
But
Oh,
even
well,
if you take just one author who sits in their own room, you
yeah,
write the first draft maybe of your plans. But then you have to painstakingly go link the single scenes and check for mistakes and check the times to get it all right, and then to find all those typing mistakes and get them out, and so on and so on and so on. So it takes me much longer to do the second draft than it does the first draft.
yeah. So I really wish people out there would treat indie authors a lot better, because we are not multimillionaires getting paid $11,000 a week and have a room full of people going over every line, checking it to be that it's optimized, or we're not paying thousands of dollars a day for AIs to optimize and analyze patterns. I mean, there's a reason why some of these really big authors are front and center. It's because they can afford the see. Because in advertising, there's a threshold. You've got to advertise to millions to sell thousands,
Yeah, that's true. But I
and
haven't
they
yet done the indie thing, so I don't know much about advertising. That's another problem I'm getting into when I got the covers for the publishing agency.
yeah. And there's just too many gatekeepers out there. So please support your indie authors and stop. I mean, stop complaining about Star Wars and read our books instead. Stop complaining and start reading. That's what I
Yes, new ideas with
really
every
annoys
author.
me. Really
Hmm?
annoys me that people want the thing. Well, you had the thing. Now you have to have another thing. It's like with an author. We know when you read, you have a book. You have a favorite book. You'll probably read it 10, 12 times, or average is 14 times in your lifetime. But you're not going to. But most people, once upon a time, they'd have at least read. I mean, well, I'm talking about modern times, probably from about 17th century onwards. There are people who've read every book in their local library, and they do it in their lifetime. There are other people up until about the 1950s where books were mostly bought by libraries. These days, books aren't mostly bought by libraries.
Hmm.
So I hope that I bring as many independent authors as I can to the public's attention. So if you're watching this, bring it to people's attention, because indie authors are the lifeblood of, this is our most of us are never going to make a living out of writing a book. This is
Yes,
we're not paid professionals, and unfortunately these days, these polished paid professionals, they have the glitz, the glamour, the glory. So please support an indie author. Give people, if you want authenticity, you
fresh
go for an
ideas.
indie author.
Yes, can only subscribe that.
Bridget is just one of many. I would say, um, of course, to check out Pteridophyta 1 and look and come back in a week for the link.
Yes, I will be ready then. I promise.
Yeah,
I get it done. At the moment, I've got problems getting the cover out, right format and everything.
but to the tech savvy out there, you already know what to do. That is, when you find Pteridophyta 1 and click follow on author. That way you'll get notified as soon as Pteridophyta 2 is published.
Or try to
Good.
reach me on Twitter. David
Because it's
Gerlach,
there. Yeah.
GDL,
Yep.
and then a string of numbers 122074335.
I'll put that in the description. I'll update that. So
That would be great. And then you
yeah.
can simply chat with me and ask. I would
Yes.
like to know more people. I would like to know the people who read my books and get
That's
some
the
feedback.
same. That's the same. Now, final thoughts before we go.
Greeting everybody, I think. And good luck to all those indie writers out there who struggle like me to make at least some money from the books and to get a bit known and to get a few people linked to you who like the books and to be able to talk about them. It's more of a personal business than in the author, I think. I think the big authors that go over the big 5 publishers, you never get to know them or maybe see them 5 minutes signing when you're very lucky signing a book somewhere and you get to shake a hand and that was it. And with us indie authors, you have a contact.
Again, some of the big authors who I've met or seen interviews with, some of them, you think they're the publicists. You go, they didn't write that book. They don't even know anything about their own book. I'm not saying that about all authors. Like there was Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke. They could pretty much recite their own books. They were geniuses.
They were geniuses. I wish I were.
Yeah, they could recite their books. Tolkien was another one, pure genius. Mary Shelley, I thought Mary Shelley was the mother of horror. No, she's the mother of science fiction. The genre of science fiction was born, broken off fantasy for Frankenstein. Frankenstein was the first is credited as the first science fiction book.
That sounds logical to me. It is.
Yeah, I thought it broke off horror, but no, I was wrong. I mentioned that in a couple of interviews ago, I think. But no, Mary Shelley gave us the genre of science fiction.
That sounds logical to me. We're still trying to revive people here.
And a lot of people, please stop annoying us about commas. There are every country has their own rule on commas, and a lot of spell checkers don't even get the rules of comma right. So comma is subjective. It really is. After you got introductory phase, you've got so many things. So please treat indie authors with a bit more kindness.
A little ways.
And thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Get the word out there. You are supporting an independent artist, not a corporation. So before you go, check out the links in the description. My book links are found in my link tree. You can buy coffee mugs and other fine items in my merch store. I have 2 patrons, both of which have a 7-day free trial. If you like the content, again, share, like, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, please give us a thumbs up. And of course, buy Brigitte's book.
That would be great. At least contact me on Twitter.